Okay, so here we have a RCA round tube color set. Uses a CTC-15 chassis. It's got this Danish modern cabinet style, which I prefer over pretty much anything else they did. It's just very sleek and clean looking. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got a few little minor defects, but nothing major. It's got a CRT that's laminated, but it's not bad. You can start to see a tiny little bit of discoloration taking place, but nowhere near required any effort. I mean, I would certainly not bother to delaminate that. The only thing I've done so far is test of the CRT. It tests good. All the guns tested fine. The only other thing I did was I sprayed some contact cleaner on the color controls. They were a little wacky. I had it on a few minutes ago to make sure the flyback wasn't getting hot. It seemed okay. I'll do a proper checkout on it later. I haven't really done any. I know the purity is not right, because when I turned all the guns down except for like one color at a time with just a blank raster, you can see the impurities. So there's no doubt at all that the yoke will have to be pulled back, and we'll have to adjust these purity rings, and there's no point in getting too deep into convergence or anything like that until that's all done. And the only other thing I noticed is that I have the height control right here maxed out, and pretty much the same with the linearity. And while this adjusts the height a little bit, it doesn't have much of an effect on it. I have a sneaking suspicion that, I mean, clearly it could be the tube. I think it's 6FG7 if I remember right. This compactron back here where the vertical is. But more likely than that, there's that yellow electrolytic capacitor right in there. That's the one you can see. May be dried out and very weak. That's basically a cathode bypass cap, and if that gets weak, you start to lose a lot of your vertical deflection. So maxing it out, you know, is not going to do much if it's already weak. The only other things I can think of is, you know, maybe the B plus might be a little bit low, but everything else is looking good. I mean, the high voltage is working and all that. I'll turn it on real quick and see what kind of picture we can get. I might have to close the garage door because it's so bright outside. I don't know how well this is going to come in. So we'll just turn it on and see what happens. Maybe I can block the sun a little bit. If you can see it at all in this brightest sunlight, that would tell you that's kind of...
Of a horrific killing of an American...
Let's turn that down. I can see it coming up. The horizontal isn't locked. Alright, well, you can't see much there. Notice the blue seems to be a little bit on the strong side here. Let me go close the garage door and I'll get a better picture of it. Okay, here we are with the garage door closed, and you can see how it's squished down a little bit. This is the top and the bottom down here, and this is maxed out, and the linearity is all messed up. You can tell by looking at the round pictures, but the color demodulation seems to be working fine. That's me adjusting the fine tuning. I'm just using this rabbit ear as an over air picture, so it's not that great of a signal source to start with. I haven't touched the focus or anything, but you can clearly see weirdness going on here with the linearity, and I think I might even be seeing a hum bar moving up through it, which could mean I might have a problem with one of the power supply filters. Oh yeah, you can see this right here. Look how this is moving along. Now see if this starts to grow again. It comes up. Yeah, there you go. That's a hum bar right there. So probably filter caps. Other than that, I think it's going to be fine when it gets all done. I mean, the controls, the tint control is working well, so the demodulation seems to be working like it's supposed to. The color intensity is working. There's a grayscale setup. Brightness. So I don't think this is going to be a very tough one to get going again. It might just be a simple do some electrolytic capacitors and that'll probably be it. I'll check the tubes out. I noticed it was bluer than it should have been when it first came on, and I tested the CRT, and I don't recall seeing any significant variations on the guns. The blue was a little bit weak initially. I did a very light rejuvenation with a CR70, which brought it right up into the green and very consistent with the other two guns. So, you know, I suppose it could be that, but if the CRT tests correct, that is the cutoffs and the emissions are all the same, and this one does that with the CRT test, there's no reason why it should come out odd and take a long time. I think it could even be one of the difference amps could be out of whack. Anyway, more to come later. Thanks for watching.